Look at him now. I got him hopping in that photo. Look at him now. Baddest ones trying to kick it like a dojo.
All right, we are back at it again.
Back at it again.
9 weeks in the books here at Sharp Tank, episode 9, Rondo edition, Tony Romo edition, as JD said.
Career passing leader, Drew Brees.
Yep, Drew Brees. Oh, I forgot. How did I forget that? Brees. Okay.
Roger Maris.
There you go. Throwing out some good names in there. Oh, man, we're back at it. Starting off good. Had a great last episode with JD, and the gang was here. Moving forward, getting some progress, and obviously just staying true to what we do over here. So
it's cool to get people that are close to us, other perspectives, to kind of see what other people are feeling and how people are thinking,
Yeah, it's always a good thing. I mean, obviously, if my off time, I spend a lot of time, obviously paying attention to, other people's podcasts and things like that. And, just try to make sure we're unique and just obviously, we're ourselves. This is us every day.
And we want to keep it fun too.
Yeah, of course. That's what it's about, entertainment at the end of the day as well. So, all right, we're going to jump into it. Let's get it. Let's talk about Lakers. No LeBron, no AD the other day, and they won by 15.
It's crazy. They, they're smart, right? Everybody's worried about the Clippers are doing with the load management, but they snuck LeBron's rest in when everybody was not paying attention.
Was not paying attention at all. And
everybody was watching the NFL games on Saturday night, and they got LeBron a night off.
And, excuse me, what's crazy is, like I told you earlier, is like I skipped that line. Like I literally missed that line. Like it really was an accident. It wasn't on purpose. Like if I saw the Lakers +9, like are you kidding me? I would take that all day. I don't care who they're playing.
Even with AD and LeBron out.
It doesn't, it goes back to what we said in a few other podcasts that, listen, there's other people that can fill in, right? There's other people that can get in a game and play and step up. I mean, obviously the chemistry's there. They are still an NBA team. If you pay attention, that core just stepped up and did everything they needed to do in that game.
And we finally had the Kyle Kuzma coming out party.
There you go.
He had 36.
36 that night. Yep. So he clearly, you see, that's the night that he really needed anyway. So obviously,
and back to the whole thing, like it was the perfect spot for LeBron to rest, and this team is still better.
Yep.
Laugh
now, cry later method, as I always say. OKC versus Lakers this year. Obviously on my wall when they were +11, I told everybody, I was like, listen, Chris Paul is Lakers. He still is LeBron's best friend.
Yep.
All right, or one of his best friends. So, a +11 to line, and again, I put this on my wall. I was like, that's probably a little kind of disrespectful so early. But again, the laugh now, cry later. Mm-hmm. It goes back to I've had conversations with certain people about certain things. Certain people latch on to those things. And name it, what do you want? Crystal ball, conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is if you pay attention to them, they're happening. Right. You play against your best friend the first 2 times. You don't cover either time. This is the third, believe this is the third time that they're playing.
Yep, and they play one more time.
So this is the third time they play, and they blew them out. The first 2 times was a -11 line. The second time was a -4.5 line. OKC covered both times. And then, as I said earlier, laugh now, cry later. You let them cover now, and then LeBron sits out. And for those who have known me for a long time, LeBron has done the same thing with D. Wade. When D. Wade played for the Bulls and LeBron played for the Cavs, when they had the bet when the Cleveland and the Cubs were playing against each other, where they had to swap jerseys, or the certain person, whoever won that game, that the loser had to wear the jersey of the others, right? Think about it.
Which is a good spot for the Lakers to actually finally cover one with LeBron out.
The thing is the first time they played against each other because they had to bet. When D-Wade played with the Bulls and LeBron was with the Cavs. First time they played, they had a bet. The second time they played, LeBron sat out. Third time they played, Dougie McDermott and Todd Gibson got traded from the Bulls. He didn't. Why? That's his best friend.
Right.
So again, okay, well, what does that mean? So let's correlate this. Fast forward here. -11 didn't cover. +4.5 didn't cover. Played them 2 times, right? Both didn't cover. Lakers won both times.
Right.
Third time, You see what I'm saying?
This
From a
third-
betting perspective,
from the bet-
LeBron sat out.
He finally, and the line, what was it? Oh,
I
it
think it
started
was
-1
1 or
and then
something like
plus
that.
1 and then
Yeah.
went all the way to 8 as soon as we got the
Yeah.
news that LeBron was out.
So these are things that, again, like I said, maybe, you know, a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, well, you know, maybe you're looking into this a little too much, but these are the things I pay attention to, you know, and this is why I put out the +11. I was like, guys, the Lakers might be in trouble here. They're not going to cover it. Then the second time they played, they put up a 4.5, and I was like,
It's perception. Now, if you go back
still
and
not
look at
going to
those,
look at it.
if you
And
go back
then
and look
they made who the favorite this time without LeBron, and you clearly see
and everybody
what
in their
happened.
minds going, well, they played them tough without LeBron. They should maybe they cover this 8.
There you go.
And
Perception.
then what happens? The Lakers blow them out by 15
Perception.
because they're a better team.
Perception.
Yep.
I can't scream that enough. It's perception. Yes, it's all about numbers at the end of the day, but sometimes you just have to you got to pay attention to what the hell is going on.
Right.
You know, and then when you start to get that perception and you step back and you can start to analyze numbers and you put it all together in your equation, you get an outcome.
Right, and this
So-
and we'll see how this kind of plays through the rest of the season. The next time they play is April 5th.
Okay.
Which at that point Chris Paul might be moved.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of have to keep that in mind as
Yeah.
we get into April. But
I mean,
it's
yeah,
just
we'll
little
see.
things that we just kind of keep building on, right?
Right. We'll move over to a mailbag right now. JD told me earlier, the Joker got nominated for 11.
Yeah, I mean it's
11 nominations that's a lot.
it's pretty like substantial. You know, I think
Okay.
I think that's a record.
Yeah.
JD, is that a record?
I think it's tied.
Tied or is the record?
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not sports, but
Right.
that,
Still an accomplishment.
It was an awesome movie.
Right.
It really dives into kind of like the psychiatric and like the mental of
a human,
of a human being and what
mind.
drives them to be like kind of turns them crazy, right?
Well,
And
you know, I tell people all the time, and you know, this is an analogy that I use a lot. You know, how does a battery work? You need a positive and a what?
and a negative.
There it is. So that you know, you just find your balance, right? So, you know, I haven't seen the movie yet. You know, sorry guys, I'm busy doing other things.
We're busy capping for you guys.
We're trying to get things up off the ground here, but I will get to it, and I will get to it, and I'll check it out. And I've heard great things about it from around.
It was a unique thing where even though he was a bad person,
Of
like
course, of
you're
course. I mean, I know the
watching it
storyline behind it,
from the scope of like feeling bad for him
Right.
and understanding
Okay.
and like, you know, seeing it from his side. So it's
Right.
kind of a unique perspective on
Just
on
a
Joker.
different perspective.
Yeah, a different perspective on
Yeah.
Joker.
No, that's always a good thing. So, Houston, Milwaukee, Dallas, Clippers, San Antonio are averaging 114 a game. Lakers are 32-7, Milwaukee 35-6. This is obviously straight up. Boston 26-11-0. Not bad. I mean, did I see Milwaukee? Yes.
I wouldn't say Boston's out of their bracket either.
No, of course
But it's
not.
weird, like the Lakers are kind of better than I anticipated already.
Yeah.
It's hard because we're
Obviously,
fans
you
of
know,
that
I'm
team.
a diehard
So
Laker
am I.
fan,
So am I.
and I got a lot of crap. You know, I was probably one of the first, not first guys, but you know, in legit picks, I told him, I was like, "Yo, put $100 on LeBron going to the Lakers." Everyone looked at me like I was crazy, you know, and then it happened, and I was like, "Well," and I still have the screenshot of that as well. I could probably go on legit picks and type my name in, and it'll probably pop up, but.
So I just got off the phone with LeBron. He said he's going to
it's
going to
just-
the Lakers.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it is what it is, but they are playing the way they need to play. If they need to stay healthy, keep swinging the ball around the way they need to. Because so again, the laugh now, cry later. The Lakers versus the Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Zach on the phone for about 2 hours last night, and I was literally explaining to him because he was like, the second half was it that game where the Lakers were? Or I think which game was it? He was talking to me about that game where the Lakers were they -7.5 second half or +7.5 second half. So his question is they were obviously Lakers were beating them by I think like 20 or something like that or 30. I think they were beating them by 30 at half. And he was like, well, why would they make, the Mavs -7.5? I'm like, bro, because they're getting blown out. He was like, yeah, but look at the full game line. I was like, again, everything is a situational cap. All right. And what I mean by that is not everything's going to be the same when you go into the games.
Like sometimes those lines are lost and they kiss them goodbye.
They kiss them goodbye. And
the
it happens.
Second half in football, the Packers last night, that shit was done the second the second half started. It was over.
It was over.
They were not going to cover the second half.
Literally.
Sometimes you just kiss them goodbye.
I mean, listen, it was -3. I mean, listen, those guys fight hard. Seahawks fight hard.
They do.
They fight. They literally fight hard. And they normally play all 4 quarters. Even if they come out a little sluggish, you better believe. And I liked them second half. I didn't post it just because we were on Brooklyn -6. The line went already up to -9, and I just felt like we that was the play.
Well, but also there was nothing that Seattle showed you in this circumstance that made you feel like they were actually going to cover that 3.
Yeah,
it kind of felt like it was just Aaron Rodgers' day.
Yeah,
and then they still just kind of just came right on back. And that Packers +3, if anybody was on it, that was dead instantly. You didn't feel any chance.
No doubt. I mean, obviously, the line on the full game was the line on the full game, so that they want to keep it somewhat close,
right?
If that makes sense. Miami over under, San Antonio over under, Dallas over under, Washington over under. So Miami's 24-14-1 over under. San Antonio's Spurs 24-14-0, Dallas 24-15, Washington 22-16-1. Obviously, the higher number's over, the lower number is the under. So, not surprised by these teams at all. I really like what I'm seeing with the San Antonio Spurs right now.
Yep, they're kind of coming into their own. They're in a weird position where they're actually young.
Yeah,
and have some youth on their side.
Patty Mills playing all time. He's playing good. These are teams that can score and that can get up and down the court. These are teams that can score 117 a game if they wanted to. So again, these are teams that put points up on the board. And last night, I was watching some of the highlights, and I sometimes forget how fast the game of the NBA is. It's it's faster than
very
the
fast. Fastest.
I mean, let's be honest with you guys. I mean, obviously you guys know what I specialize in, but to see 120s in second halves, I was talking to Zach about this again. A team will be like 100, 101, 102 in Vegas and hang a 120 or 119 second half, and it'll go smooth over.
It's like, hello.
It's like they catch... they get Space Jam juice
sleeping.
And they wake up and then, the score's 51-50, right? That's 101 points. And the second half line is like 122.
Wait, why?
You're like, so you mean to tell me these teams are really about to average 30 to 30 plus in the third quarter and the fourth quarter? Like, yeah.
They're going to have to. Or else that line wouldn't be there. Or else it would be 105 and everybody just kind of cruised it. But
there you go.
It's not. So when you see stuff that jumps off the page like that, this makes no sense.
Right.
It makes no sense. It's the old adage, it's too good for, if it looks too good to be true, it is. Same thing on the opposite side. If it looks so horribly bad and not possible, it's probably going to happen. It's probably happening.
I mean, listen, like I said, I always tell people all the time, I mean, all you really have to do is just pay attention. That's the I preach that a lot. There's 2 ways. You either pay attention, or you pay attention with the 2 eyes that you were born with, and when you sit back and you do numbers and things like that, it tends to come back, get data, and like I said, I had a long conversation with Zach last night, and one of the things that he asked me was just even other people, they're like, well, how do I start and what do you look at? And I'm just like, listen, opening line versus closing line, first half versus second half, first half under versus second half under, over, against the spread. It's work. You got to put work in. It's not, you're not going to see it until you see it, if that makes sense.
My recommendation would be to just kind of make picks that you're not playing money on first, and kind of track yourself for the first little window to kind of get a feel to how the games are going to go based off what you're picking and how the games are playing out based on your feel kind of. And then you kind of develop a special unique area.
Memory.
It's
muscle memory, so just like anything else.
Just track it on Action App without placing units. You know,
Right,
give yourself
right,
a
right,
50 unit bankroll and
bet $2 a bet.
and test it just to get the feel, track the game, see,
Yep.
and see.
I mean, just to kind of go back, and the money factor will change your feelings, right? I mean, obviously, I read something online today where it said that in a restaurant, when a server receives a certain tip, the brain kind of gets like really excited, right? And I know that from experience. And you're right. You know, when you win a bet, it feels awesome. You know, it really does. I don't care if you have $1 on it. I don't care if you have $100 on it or 100 million on it. It doesn't matter. It feels good, but it feels even better when you can make a call and lay off of it and pat yourself on the back and be like, man, that was dead on. And I make a lot of calls like that.
It's like, it's self-validating.
Yeah. I mean, so listen, some things are just not worth money, you know, like capping wise and putting money on games. You know, there's a lot of things I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna sit back. And a lot of my Twitter people, like, they know, they're like, man, this looks very, very good. But you know what? I'd rather us go out winning or go out capping it right and winning and learning the process
and experiencing,
rather than have someone go put $100 on it or whatever your unit is and them lose by 15 and the cap was all the way wrong. Right. So there again, it's building the confidence and knowing, you know, obviously when to jump on certain things. Yeah. But there are certain, and again, that's why I put out the no lines needed. There are certain games I can look at and be like, yo,
doesn't matter.
Take this second half. I don't care what the line is. And again, I've won more. 12, I've won more of those than I've lost. So, that's because I spend a lot of time capping the games after they're done. Obviously, you see how we did it that one day when we were here. Mm-hmm. We kind of just went through, looked at everything from top to bottom. When did the line move? When did you kind of see like the sharps coming in on that 4.5 on today's game, the Clemson game, which we'll start to talk about here pretty soon. And you start to see like, oh man, like the money came in, it went down, and then it went all the way back up because the line, I'm pretty sure the open line was 6, and got all the way down to 4.5, and then where are we at now? We're probably at 5.5, depending on what book you have. So, you know, it's just one of those things where you say, okay, well, if the 5 doesn't make sense to you full game line, then guess what? Sit back and wait for second half, because clearly you're going to see Vegas show their hand. Just like in the Seattle game, that boom, they scored minus, they covered the 3 second half. And again, variables. You just sit back and again, situational cap. You know, so
and one more thing to somebody who's just starting out, right?
Right.
You mentioned, you don't want somebody to go and like put just the $100 down. They might lose. It's important to understand that you want to start betting with a bankroll.
Of course, of course.
So if you have $100, like you might want to start that bankroll with playing $10 of it.
Yep.
You know, and kind of,
or even less, or $5, $2, or even $1, but just to see. You know, listen. I always say this, and I truly do mean this. There are a lot of people out here that are really good at this handicapping, sports analytics, whatever you want to call it nowadays, or whatever these people call it, whatever they call themselves. There's so much data out there now that you can really get a hold of this, you know. But bankroll management is number one. I don't care what anyone says. You have to learn. So if you don't know how to control your expenses or in your everyday life, you're not going to do well at sports. You literally have to know how to manage $100. Can you stretch $100 for a month? I've done it before. I could do it right now if I needed to, just to prove that I could do it. You know, obviously it'll be limited going places and driving and things like that. But listen, you know, if you know how to stretch 100, you can stretch 100. You know how to stretch $20 for a couple of days, you can stretch $20 for a couple of days and survive, right? But it's money management. It's knowing when to go on certain games. Like I've been 1-3, 4-0, 6-2, 0-5, and 1-4, and still was up on the week. So again, it just kind of depends on how you bet. You got to know, you know, our open parlays, we put $50 to $100 on. Our straight bets, you know, we go anywhere from 105 to 1,000. If it really looks good, I'll even put 3 bands on it. So it's all situational. You know what I mean? Like the time the Golden State Warriors were down 20 in Dallas. Full game line was -14. Second half line was -12. They covered the full game line in the second half, which is 26 points. Yeah. when Golden State Warriors was third quarter, I had no problem laying that type of money on those games because it didn't matter. We were up so much betting Golden State Warriors, Anthony and I, we didn't even care. We were like, yo, we're just going to wait till Golden State's down. They're going to come back every single time. And they were coming back every single time. Like in the third quarter, it was scary almost.
They had the weird third quarter.
Yeah, it was
86% third quarter thing last
Dude.
year. It was just insane. Also, they were just covering third quarters. You can blind bet them before the game, and they would cover them.
Literally,
if they were up or down.
I
or anything.
had 8 bookies telling me, like, dude, it does not matter what this player was down. And even I was betting the Golden State Warriors at the time. Dude, it came to a point where it did not matter how much money you were down. You could bet the Golden State Warriors second half or you could bet them third quarter. And you would just literally bounce back. And don't let it be a Sunday because that's probably bookies' worst day. Obviously, they see a player that's, probably down, and the next thing you know, they bet Golden State Warriors first quarter. Golden State Warriors minus 14. Golden State Warriors second half. Golden State Warriors third quarter. Yo, you just hit Golden State Warriors 4 to 5 ways, and before you know it, you're right back where you need to be. So, I mean,
so a lot of the focus is trying to find those windows.
Correct.
As we keep moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find your spots. I mean, obviously, if you're in the Sharp Tank, and for those who are not in the Sharp Tank, I don't care how bad of a day that you're having, a week that you're having. All you really have to do, really, is to hold on. Let me read this real quick. Richard Sherman, you like that follow? We gotta talk about that. That's funny. Where was I at? Yeah, I mean, you just gotta find your spots. You gotta. Everyone has their own system. Everyone has their own thing that they do. But again, like I said, if you're in the Sharp Tank and you were having a bad week, I mean, guys, we've been hitting 60% on these teasers for 2 years in a row. They're 2 team 6-point teasers. Some people bet 10. Some people bet 7-point teasers. It's almost like cheating. You know what I mean? You're giving me Seattle plus, or we had Green Bay plus 2.5 yesterday. How much they win by? So you take the total points that they win by plus the 2.5, and that's how much cushion we had on that game.
And you're basically getting a straight bet.
Straight bet
for picks you already like straight anyways.
There it is. So again, the guy that gets off work at 5:00 gets the bad number. Right?
For sure.
Gets the bad
He's
number.
late.
So, for instance, we took Brooklyn yesterday, -6. So the guy that gets off at, I don't know what time that game started because obviously we bet it super early during the day, and honestly just don't care what time the game starts because I just look at the certain numbers on the board and I'd be like, I like this number, I'm going to hit it. Or this is a disrespectful number. To hints to why we do the Vegas Stop Playing With Me plays. And again, this is why we do that. Certain games that we just see, numbers that pop up just make sense to me.
But the guy that's late to that might have got the 8, right? What did it close at 9?
Or could have scared him.
Yeah, or just don't even
Or
take
could
it.
have scared him.
Yeah.
And, he could have got to the casino and said, man, dude, Brooklyn went from 6 to 9. Choco bet to 6. Man, I might have missed my value. I'm going to take Atlanta plus 9. Who Atlanta is I think, worse at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Of against the spread. I think I wrote that down. Oh, no, actually, no. So the lowest ATS is San Antonio, Portland, and Detroit. 15-22-1. Portland 15-23-2. And Detroit 14-25-1. And against the spread, surprisingly, and shout out to my boy Teddy. Teddy pointed this out to me as well. OKC is 26-13 against the spread. ATS. For those who don't know what that stands for.
It's really solid for a team that we thought was going to be a basement dweller team.
I mean, clearly,
that's somebody that you can make your money back on.
Okay, but see, it goes back to, again, if people are paying attention to what we actually are saying on the podcast, and I say this, I can't tell you how many times I say this on social media. Listen to the podcast, guys. Like, the information that we're putting are actually tools that you can use to build muscle memory to help you make a decision on the games.
Right.
Okay. I mean, obviously, we're not breaking down numbers like we were doing in the first 6, 7, 8 episodes, but man, we were really getting into it, breaking those numbers down.
But there's going to be a time and place for that too. And as we need to provide that for people, we will.
Mm-hmm. So to put in correlation to what I was saying is the Lakers are 32-7, right? And then you put that perspective of a team like OKC, who was 26-13. When they played against each other, the plus 11 on the first game, I told everybody on Facebook, I I think they're in trouble. And the plus 4.5, and then no LeBron, no AD, and they put plus 9 on there.
And then you
switches it all.
And you see OKC have it being one of the top teams.
Top teams.
It's like
you have to
just
put the pieces
yep,
together.
put
It
it
has
together.
to make sense. You have to look 1 and 1. It's 2 clearly, but what about the equal sign in the middle of it that everybody's missing in the spaces? So again, situational caps. All right. I mean, it's still an NBA team. They still can play. Yeah, so Boston 21-14-2 against the spread, and our underdog for the year, and my boy Cannon, his underdog for the year, Miami 22-15-2 against the spread.
so good.
So, yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you just got to follow the numbers. Kyrie's return. I felt like he had a lot of time to sit on the sidelines, watch how his team is playing. I really have high hopes for this Brooklyn team in the next probably 2-3 years. I think they're going to be elite. And I think JD said something about that on the last episode, or maybe the last time I saw him. I think that Brooklyn Nets are going to be super, super elite in a year or so.
We're gonna need Kevin Durant to come back from the Achilles.
Oh
obviously.
yeah, of
that's
course.
like that's
but
the big thing.
Obviously, the Achilles injury is not the best injury to come back from.
No, it's one of the worst. But guys are starting.
Guys are bounced
They're
back.
starting to
bounce
come back from it.
That's correct. I mean, obviously, you see Boogie,
Richard Sherman.
There you go, Richard Sherman.
There's other guys.
There's other guys that are coming back for this.
Kobe.
Yeah. So tough injury. It's a tough
I don't
injury.
want to mess with one of those, bro. I'm good.
When my Achilles hurt, I can only imagine popping it and walking on it. Like, I don't even want to think about it. Ooh, it just sounds, like how do you know what I mean? It just sounds hurtful. I don't want that pain at all. But Kyrie in his return, 21 points. He looked good. I watched the highlights, hit some big shots. His mid-range game is back on. He had a couple 3-pointers. He's seeing the field. I don't know if he's going to continue to be Kyrie, or is he going to be the Kyrie that Brooklyn needs to? I don't know.
Well, I don't think that they're like as a team mature enough to win the East, but they're 7th right now, and he's been out.
Right.
So I mean, they're gonna be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they come out of the East though.
No, definitely.
They need KD. And here's the thing: even if KD somehow makes it back for the playoffs, I don't think that they're going to be gelled together to do any damage this year.
Right.
But hey, they're still in the mix.
Yeah. You pointed out a stat to me earlier. I wrote it down because it just caught my eye.
From 10 for 11 last night, Kyrie.
You know what?
Field.
He was very efficient last night.
And that's not like him.
He was very, very efficient last night.
He likes to shoot.
Yeah, he was super efficient last night. I forgot to point that out. I appreciate you. That's why you're here. So,
That guy.
5 games. Indiana, the Pacers, obviously, my kind of little bit of a dark horse. They play against the Sixers tonight, and you kind of brought up a stat. So the last 5 games?
No, it was 5 games ago.
5 games ago.
The Sixers played in Indiana.
And they got blown out.
And the Sixers got blown out by 18
Okay.
with no Embiid.
No Embiid.
Embiid is out again. The Pacers are -2. I think perception people just are going to hit Philly just because. I mean, we'll have to look at the numbers, but I kind of, for me, I wrote it down. Like,
what's the over-under on
I
it?
like the Pacers. I'll pull that right now to just be 2 seconds for us.
Pull up the over-under on that.
Yeah.
No Sabonis?
No, he's day-to-day. It's the
Day-to-day.
Brogdon's still out.
Okay.
But Sabonis is playing, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Pacers.
21. That's pretty good, man.
It's 213.5 on the total.
213.5 on the total plus 2. I'm a second half it.
Yeah.
We'll see. I want to see how they come out without Embiid. Obviously, I'm anxious to see how well the 76ers do in the first quarter without Embiid, because he's a big part of that first quarter.
He is.
So let's see what happens with that. We're gonna do a contest today. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Obviously the national game. Both teams coming in. Obviously, we might as well talk about it now.
Let's do it.
Both teams coming in at 13-0.
They're both really dominant.
Really dominant. LSU 47.6 averaging, and then Clemson 44.2.
That's points per game.
Points per game.
We should have a shootout.
Yeah, listen. It again. Zach and I had a great conversation last night that I wish was recorded. And one of the questions he asked me, and it wasn't really a question, he was like, hockey, we see obviously JD and I, or JD, you and myself are in a chat, and the first period over Vegas Knights, which clearly is
Still
probably
keeps
still
sitting.
sitting at
90.
probably 90+%. I think they didn't do it last time, but
Did they finally not have one?
25 years ago, 25 years ago, if you saw a hockey score at 3-0 or a baseball game at 3-0 or even a basketball game at 240, which I don't think we saw a lot of those like that, but you were wow, right? Because it was predicated off just defense. You know, if you left a baseball game at 1-0, you're just like, oh my God, it was such a defensive game. NBA game at 99, 101, you're like, oh my God, great defensive game. But now we're seeing all-time numbers. I mean, all-time high numbers.
Yep.
Right? I mean, obviously, I told you the second half's 120, 120. I haven't seen those numbers.
All of the rules are changing and tailoring towards selling tickets and seats and TV deals.
There
and
you go.
records are being broken, man.
There you go.
They're putting people
and that's
in the
all
stands.
correlated to the perception factor that we've always
Right.
been preaching since day one. So,
For this game tonight, the total, just to go, the total 70.5. It opened at 69.
I see everybody on Clemson right now.
That's where it opened at 70. It's down to 67.
67 right now.
Yeah, on the total.
I'm a second have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but part of me is telling me that LSU is going to cover. I don't know what part of me is telling me that, but I just have some. I mean, all I see is Clemson backers. I haven't seen one capper on LSU, and that kind of scares me.
Well,
That's what scares
the
me.
regular perception, right? Clemson hasn't. They've been on fire over the last 2 years,
Yeah.
and really over the last 5 years. You just roll. Roll Clemson.
I
And
expect Clemson to come out on fire. You know, very pumped. I expect LSU to come out the same as well. I hope it's a great defensive game. I want to see play calling. I want to see coach versus coach. I know what the players can do, but I want to see coaching versus coaching in this game. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans. You know, we talked about that over the last couple of episodes.
Yep.
For the guys that have been paying attention to the Titans. I mean, it didn't surprise me at all. At all.
What surprised me was that they were able to get it done with 88 passing yards from Ryan Tannehill.
There you go.
They didn't.
It just shows
they
you-
didn't need him to throw at all. Lamar Jackson had over 500 all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
For what? They scored
Yeah.
12 points. He was
Yeah.
running around like crazy, and
And they had chances to score. That's what's crazy. And I
They did.
posted it in the Sharp Tank, like they had chances to really put the ball in the end zone, and he didn't. So I mean,
you live and you learn. But at this point, this is the second time now we've seen Lamar kind of. I don't want to say choke, but kind of not get it done now
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's go. Next year is we're starting to write the story on them. You know.
yeah,
Just to dive back to this real quick, I want to highlight in the national championship the quarterbacks.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
Dynamic.
They're the two best players in college football. We've got
hands
the
down.
number
no
one overall
question.
pick this year in
No
Joe
question.
Burrow, and the number one overall pick next year in Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Like most people feel pretty confident about that. That's what I'm excited to see how these two look compared next to each other,
Yeah,
because they're
yeah,
easily
yeah.
the number one for the next 2 years coming into the draft for me personally.
Clearly. Nah, for me
exciting
as well.
stuff.
Yeah, I want to see what these guys.
The way
can
these
do.
numbers look, it does look like there's a little bit of a reverse line favoring the under.
Okay.
We've got 60, 70, 80%, or it started at 80, but it's 60% is on the over, and this line just keeps going down.
Okay.
Just keeps going.
Just driving it down from the
keeps
70 and a half, right?
70 and a half is down to 67 now,
Wow.
with 67% on the over. So,
Wow.
again, probably second half because this is such a big game.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be ready for it. Sharp Tank will be ready.
We don't want to see what happened in the Chiefs game.
Nah, I mean,
where
listen. I
they
mean, and
score
we can,
82 points.
Listen, we can touch on that as well. You know, I saw Mahomes on the side. You know, I pay attention to certain things when I do watch games. There's not a whole lot of games that I watch, but there are certain games that I watch. And I was here for that game.
Yeah, we watched it together.
So I saw Mahomes on the sideline, not yelling, but he looked like Tom Brady in a way, when the way he was on the sideline talking to his offensive line, talking to his running backs, talking to his receivers, and he's on the sideline like,
Man, Des Bryant got criticized for that.
yeah. I mean, but listen, there are certain players that take that and can drive off of it. I'm that guy.
And it worked for them,
like
obviously.
literally, I'm that guy. But did you see I mean, the whole dynamic of everything just changed. I mean, he was so excited even when they scored that one touchdown, and then 2 came, and then, the
inertia kind of took over, and
it was
they had nothing.
Amazing. That was amazing.
special
to me.
to watch.
It really was special to watch. It was kind of like when the Patriots were down in that
And
Super
they
Bowl.
all
and
bought in, and
they just were
we
hungry.
said it,
Everyone
we
stepped up.
We said it was 24-10. The line was -3. We were like, they're winning this.
Yeah.
They're winning this whole game.
Yep.
It was awesome, man. To watch them respond from that, and the energy that they put out was just like,
Yeah.
they're going to be tough to beat next week for the Titans.
Yeah, no
that's going to be
doubt.
exciting.
Yeah,
game.
it's gonna be a good game. I can't wait. Was the first down mailbag? Was the first down? What would you write down here? Was the first down? What was that in the football game? In
Yeah,
the
it was
Seahawks
the
game?
Packers
Okay.
Seahawks game.
What was the mailbag on that? Controversy, or do you think Vegas called that one in?
Yeah, basically,
It was clearly
the
not.
guy was short.
It wasn't a first down.
The guy was short.
Did you watch that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see what the line was and everything on that clip? I saw a few things on Twitter.
I mean, I've seen the picture.
Picture, yeah.
Yeah, I fell asleep before the game ended. I thought they were gonna blow them out.
Yeah.
I fell asleep. I woke up. I was like, oh fuck.
We got a
Yeah.
game. Yeah, basically there was the
Controversy.
Seattle was trying to get off the field late in the game, and they stopped the Packers short of the first down marker.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers were awarded a first down.
It wasn't.
It got
but-
reviewed.
Mhm.
They didn't change the spot at all. They gave the Packers a first down. Was that something that Vegas had in the cards here?
I really hate talking about this on air, because it makes me look like a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'll stand behind this.
I'm gonna pull up the money on this game. Real
There
quick.
are certain things that I see when I do watch certain games. Human error. Obviously, the refs can't make. They can't make every call. But I'll say this: read the book, game in the game. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
And just for reference, the Seahawks had 53% of the money, and the Packers had 47% of the money.
Okay.
So that was, to me, I'm not saying it was, but that was an easy way to give the Packers to take 6%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just by giving the Packers the first down,
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
that game.
Yeah. And a lot of people look at that weird, but like it makes sense.
Everybody covered for the Packers.
Right.
The 3.5, the 4, the 4.5.
4.5.
It's all good.
Yeah. All good money.
And the book made 6%.
There you go. Read the book, game in the game. Shout out to my boy Tunes on Twitter for putting me up on game there. Just one of my good friends, and he's given me plenty of books to read, and I've definitely have wised up.
Take some takeaways from that.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to have that perception factor embedded, because that's the only way you're really going to understand majority of the numbers anyway. So, let's talk about this. Some breaking news today. Let's talk about the Zion thing first, and then we'll jump into the Astros thing.
All right.
So Zion making this debut.
He would destroy the
Thursday.
He would destroy the WNBA.
Of course he would.
Zion is back on Thursday, and
Versus the Pelicans.
he's finally, like, we'll see. He's going to be on a minutes restriction for sure.
I wish he'd sit out for the year.
I kind of want to I kind of want that
I wish
too.
he'd just sit out. I know why he's not going to sit out, because it's just obviously you're paying this guy money. It's endorsement. It's highlights. It's
He gets the win Rookie of the Year.
yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I guess if he takes the Pelicans to a 5 seed or something.
I don't know, man. I feel like he needs to sit out and watch the game of basketball. And listen, the guy's a freakish athlete. He's an athlete. I don't know. When you get to the NBA, everything's just different. And I just feel like, man, why rush him back, man?
Minor knee surgery. They've already nursed it way too long. He's fucking windmilling on people.
I saw the windmill. I saw everything. Yeah, he needs to play. I don't know, man. I just feel like he needs to sit out. Just sit out and watch the game. I think you learn a lot more. Like, I do the Ben Simmons thing. Just kind of like, I feel like when you sit out for a while and you in a year in the NBA, like if I was on the bench, let's say I was like the worst player, which is probably not the worst player, but the best player on the bench, which probably is the best player that you've probably ever seen play basketball. But if I was sitting at the end of the bench, I would want to sit there for a year and literally watch how everything is orchestrated, from the offense, from the practice time, the traveling with the team,
to the
seeing different
dinner meals,
everything,
to the
Taco Tuesday,
training sessions,
everything. I just would want to just sit
ice
there,
baths, all of it.
all the above, just to go through the experience, to get my mind, mental, and my eyes right
Like totally
for this
transition
position.
to that lifestyle.
Yeah, I
Where
mean,
you're not
obviously, I'm
having to
not
go to
saying
class,
he's
not
I'm
going
not
out to
I'm-
parties,
Yeah,
not doing
obviously,
all that
I'm
stuff.
not saying that he's not ready for the lifestyle. I'm just saying, I don't know, man. There's just a certain, if that's like my opponent. If I get to sit and watch my opponent for 82 games, I'm gonna see some things. I'm
You
gonna see
might-
a
you might-
whole
you
lot
might
of
beat
things.
him, yeah.
Yeah, like I can sit, like, you know what? And I used to tell guys on the basketball court all the time, make him go left. He can't go left. Make him shoot. He can't shoot. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things
Things
players
you pick up once you're watching.
Yeah, you test people's weaknesses to see how strong they really are when they get pushed in a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing, I tell people all the time, if you can spar, go to the boxing gym and spar. Like, boxing is huge. Like, it really teaches you. Like, I don't care how much in shape you are, and how much you plan for your opponent. When it goes ding ding, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? And you just face adversity and different things, and you just learn, like, man, maybe I didn't prepare for this guy the way that we plan to prepare, because it's different when you get hit in your kidney or your chest or your arm and your elbow, and you just get hit in places.
Or you got to play the third back-to-back, the back-to-back.
Or that,
Yeah,
or to correlate it in other sports.
Exactly.
No rest, third back-to-back, and you have to travel all 3 games to 3 different,
You're
Midwest,
playing 3
East
games
Coast.
in 4 days.
There you go.
And you haven't slept in your own bed.
There you go. And I see LeBron tweeting all the time. Oh, these guys, I forget where he was, but he's like, oh, they think they're funny. I can't sleep. So they're partying, making loud noise outside of the room, knowing that the Lakers are staying at that hotel.
Car
things
alarms
like that.
of some people
Yeah,
pulling
of
fire
course.
alarms in the.
Of course.
All that.
Of course.
While
These
you're
things happen.
while you're on the fighting thing, real quick, just to touch on it, this weekend, huge, Conor versus Cerrone.
Oh, yeah.
In MMA.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a massive one.
Cannon, who is arguably one of my go-to cappers for MMA. Obviously, Garrett as well. Those 2 guys I kind of stick. Larry's good at it as well.
Chase.
And Chase as well. So those are like my 4. And hopefully, when we get the website up and going and everything, we can get those guys on there and, obviously share some insight. Because there's a lot of UFC's coming up. I mean, a lot of people are starting to bet it now. It's
huge.
Yeah, it's like being like heavily betted right now. So we'll find some, when Conor announced that he was coming back, I literally said ticket sales. That's what, for me, it's all about the perception. I literally was like, yo, this is ticket sales. I was like, and he's going to win. He's going to come back. I was like, dude, if he loses,
I think he's going to win also.
I will stop saying the word UFC. I will not talk about UFC ever again if he loses. And you can hold, and I'll stand on that,
Conor's minus 315.
Yeah, now.
And that's up.
Yeah, it's way up for where the line first came out.
I think
it was like
smash
high
Cerrone.
180s or something like that.
So I saw like 220, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up there. He should mop him.
Yeah.
He's gonna just.
He should.
he's
I
gonna
mean,
wax.
there's a lot of guys bet Cerrone.
Are there? Well, it's good value. I understand. You
Yeah.
place a unit on him if you like him.
Yep.
Underneath there, you've got Holly Holmes fighting.
Mm-hmm.
She's a slight favorite, and another name that's popular, Anthony Pettis.
Pettis, yeah.
He's plus 205. I don't know the other guy that he's fighting. You'd have to look into Diego Fiera.
Fiera,
but
I've heard of that name.
I know Pettis. So that should be that's going to be another good thing to look at there.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into this A-Rod hugging the ref after the game. I think you just showed me that probably about 10, 15 minutes ago. But
the haters will say that it's photoshopped. I don't know.
I don't know.
Look, when you've been in the league that long, you generate frientships with people.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's more than
he's a likable dude.
A lot of people don't like Aaron
really?
Rodgers. Yeah, they know. A lot of people don't think that he's like the greatest dude.
Oh, like just like person.
Yeah, well, just like a lot with what's come out basically with like the time that he was dating with Olivia Munn, and they separated from the family, and like
Okay.
they just not. I don't know. Like I don't want to act like I know about it, but I think that there's a perception that he might not be overly likable.
Well, if I meet him, I'll give you my judge of character. Because normally, like, and I'm not saying like I know everything or I judge people, but like there's a certain energy bubble that you have that you offer people when they first come around you. You kind of like you build that intuition, and it's one of those things where I'm not judging a book by its cover, but it's like you can feel it.
Right.
Like it's kind of like when you and I met.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's like, oh, okay. Like it was very like, you know, Paul's no homo and no disrespect to anybody, but it was very warm, and it was like, okay, like this is good. Like I felt it. The moment I walked in here, I was like, oh my God, like the energy in here feels great.
And I'm sure that Aaron
know?
Rodgers has that energy between the lines.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I know, right?
I'm not gonna mess with him there. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Double check, baby. Let's go. No.
That's the BDE.
Yeah. How about those Niners, JD?
Pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, man. Those Niners looking all good.
That's a good showdown. I'm ready for that one too.
Yeah, that man is so wide open. Shout out to my boy Envy, aka Mike Wash, diehard Niner fan, season tickets, and
Is that the credit guy?
yeah. So for those who don't know who he is, and he has a couple franchises and things like that as well. So you know we're moving some things this year, man. It's not just gonna be Sharp Tank, but you know we got some other things out where we're gonna be helping people, and we'll kind of talk about that on the OGM podcast. But yeah.
We need to circle back to the Astros.
Astros.
Is that what you were about to say?
Yeah, I was just about to talk about it right now. Astros GM fired.
Yeah, Jeff Lawman or Law now. He was not fired, suspended for
1
a
year?
year, along
Okay.
with AJ Hinch.
Oh wow.
Who's the manager of the team?
Yeah, manager.
you know?
Yeah.
They found the team was using technology during the 2017 World Series, which we all saw was they were setting up TVs and relaying signals from cameras from center field into the dugout, and then they were cleaning it up. But they were caught for that. Astros were fined. The Astros organization was fined $5 million. They also have forfeited their first and second round picks for 2020 and 2021. So that's heavy. The baseball draft is you get your top players. At the top. You get that. So that's going to hurt them. A team that has really prided themselves on building internally with draft picks.
Yeah.
Now they're taking away their asset,
That's
what they've used to
crazy, man.
get good their assets.
Well, I mean,
or cheating.
It doesn't
that
really
too.
surprise me, man, because like nowadays all this stuff's coming out. Like I said, read the book, Game in the Game. I mean, you never know, man. People.
No, man, if you
You
ain't
just never
cheating,
know.
you ain't trying.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we're taking the stairs. Fuck that. I'm not.
I got to get my steps in.
Yeah, we're taking the stairs. We don't do elevators around here. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Let's talk about Edelman arrested for vandalizing
A Mercedes
a
Benz.
Mercedes-Benz in California.
Yeah, it was basically in Beverly Hills. I guess it was, following their exit.
Right.
I don't know if it was, anger induced.
Listen, I mean, these guys. Listen, they're in their off season. They just lost.
He can afford one.
He can. Yeah, definitely can afford that. They're still people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They're gonna get in trouble.
Terrell Owens had a good quote. He said, "That's Edelman being Edelman."
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Everyone that knows Edelman, they know he's like that. He's crazy. It's just that's like if who's the guy's name? J.J. Watt or Gronk. I'm never surprised anytime I hear anything about these guys.
Put them in the coffin.
Oh,
dude.
put them in. Yeah, put them in. Like I'm never surprised when I hear these things because these people are just.
That's
them.
them.
They're just humans on
They
another
like
level,
to-
just
like to have
going
a good
crazy.
time
They had
one
to have
way
a
or
good time.
another.
I'm pretty sure he didn't mean anything negative about it. I didn't get to read the article or not, but I'll read it after we get off the segment. And I'm
But
sure he meant well.
If that was my Mercedes, I
I'd
would have
keep
just
it.
had him sign it.
Yeah,
and,
sign it. That's
and
it.
sell it on eBay for
there you
double.
go. There you go. Keep it for 5 years or 10 years, and who knows what it will come after. But
Yep.
who knows? They might do that. Maybe he'll come back and sign it and be like
Sign
sit
the
it
hood
down,
where the
and
damage
I'll buy
is.
you a brand new car.
Yeah.
There you go. And you can raffle this one off and do whatever you want when you're like. You never know. Who knows?
Right,
probably
that's
what
part
I
of his
would do.
community service or something.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. So I mean, that's pretty much all I got. And yeah, man. Good segment.
Rob Gronkowski breaking Steve Harvey's Lego statue was awesome.
Oh,
Did you see that?
My gosh, no, I didn't see
That
that.
was pretty good.
Oh goodness, that's not good at all.
Just because you mentioned Gronk, so
Yeah.
okay. Here you go.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's
Hold
check
up.
this out. This will be funny. Yo, let's throw this in the segment. This will be funny.
It's a big good clip.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that is insane.
Oh, that was on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, clearly. Ah, what is wrong with you? And he got that
just
long
throwing
coat
on
on. Yeah, he's such a gangster.
Gronk doesn't
bro.
care.
Yeah, Gronk doesn't care about anything, dude. That's so funny. So funny. Yeah, for those who don't know, you can follow us on Instagram, Sharp Tank 101, on Twitter, Sharp Tank _Choco, and we have obviously a group on Facebook called Sharp Tank. If you guys, the website should be coming soon.
We
stay tuned for
have a
that.
domain.
Yeah, we have a domain, sharptanklv.com.
It's very exciting stuff.
Went ahead and locked that up. We're excited. We got some new things coming up here pretty soon. Some new guests. Some highly known cappers coming in soon as well. So, we want to get a couple of people on phone calls and stuff like that, so you guys can call up and, we can break some games down or just kind of just talk about, just whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah,
so
and I
just kind of open it
to
up.
add into that, one of the guys that I've got, he's got a hockey system. That
Okay.
I'm curious about how he writes his system. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just one thing. We kind of want to dive into everybody and anybody's what they're thinking about how they're capping.
Everybody, and again, like I said, everyone caps different. It comes down to just which situational. And yeah, man, if you guys don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And if it doesn't add value to your life, I would definitely subtract it. So that's it. That's all we got. This is Nina, episode 9 of the Sharp Tank. And you guys just stay tuned. We got more things coming, and we appreciate all you guys' support. Check us out on Anchor FM. We're on Outcast, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. We're on a big network, so appreciate everybody at Rolling Sevens just supporting us. And it's I'm telling you right now, and I always tell you guys this: I did not see any of this coming at all. So I'm completely happy where we are. Even if it ended right now, I would be just blown away. This would be something I'd probably sleep aside and be like, oh my God, we did it, because it's just an accomplishment that just kind of started off the top of our heads, and we just kind of just ran with it.
We're
and,
ready to start kicking down more doors.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, of
We're
course.
not. I don't want to be content.
No.
Not,
We're not satisfied.
Yeah, no,
of course,
there's no satisfaction
You know
yet.
how I roll. Like I always tell you, we're taking the stairs. We're not satisfied where we are. We got a long way to go. We appreciate the support. Keep supporting. Share. Make sure you guys, when you're listening to the podcast, rate it.
Throw us up that 5 stars.
Yeah, give us 5 stars. Check us out, man. We're on YouTube now. Check us out. Last time I checked, we had 51 subscribers. Again,
All natural, baby.
all natural. We didn't put
Jose Canseco ain't got shit on us.
we didn't put any money behind this thing at all for market. It was all raw. Just hit everybody
Teamwork.
up. Teamwork. This is where we are. This is what we have, and this is where we're going.
We're gonna keep bringing more for you guys.
Yeah, of course. Shout out to my man Brian Butterworth for hitting us up at Sharp Tank. Really, to be honest with you guys, a mastermind behind, I think, the website thing. He's going to be helping us out, doing some things as well. I'll do a couple shout outs. Shout out Alan Miller, Chanson, No Moreno, Isaac, Kevin. You guys keep your eyes on Kevin. Kevin Crier's been, obviously childhood friend, went to school together here in Vegas. Doing his thing second half wise, man. I'm really proud of him just to see him, what he's doing second half. And again, it's not an easy call, guys. I mean, we got to make 10, 12 calls in 10 minutes and find the best 2 to 3. So shout out Stack Ford, season capper, been around, Niner Gang, Jesse, 2 Up, 2 Down, Virginia, Niner Gang. Shout out to my boy Delgado out there in Texas. For all you guys that are in Fort Worth, Texas, or you in Texas, if you need a car, you need a whip, my man got you. Jose Tello, you know what time it is, hot. Jose's been firing off, man. Jesse's been firing off. We got other Mario Higgs. I'm just naming some guys that, Willie, handling all the T-shirts and just handling all that stuff. Shout out Mark. Shout out Mario, who we're going to be working with here pretty soon as well. Steve Cardenas. Jesse Lewis, the Cannon. He's going to be putting out some of the MMA stuff. Jamie Younger. Vandale Montego. Shout out to, obviously the generals, Paulo, Albie. There's a lot of guys, man. Shout out to Jerry out there in Philly. Larry out there on the East Coast. Who else we got? Jack Robb out there in Oklahoma. Chase, wherever he is right now, he's always traveling around, moving all around. just want to shout those guys out, man. It's really good to be around a group of people that see the vision. And I think once we create the platform for them, which will be coming here pretty soon, for everybody to get there and to be able to showcase their talents. And that's my overall goal at the end of the day, is just to make sure Sharp Tank builds that platform for people. So, yeah, we do run a group. It is $15 a month to be inside. It's just it's a social group, for you guys to come in and exercise your brain. All right. So I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Choco here with Sharp Tank with my boy Big Stock over here at Rolling Sevens with JD. And I got to make sure that I shout out my boy Chance, CP Photography. Make sure you guys, check him out. I tag him all the time, all my stuff. He keeps us right, takes all the pictures for us. And he has some big things coming as well that we're going to be invested in. And yeah, man, we're going to grow this thing. We're going to do it. So that's it. It's episode 9, Sharp Tank. We are out. Sharp Tank.
Hey.
Look at him now. I got him hopping in that photo. Look at him now. Baddest ones trying to kick it like a dojo.